Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw for Insider Travel Report, and I'm here with a familiar face, if you've been around travel as long as I have, um, Peter Greenberg, who's the travel editor for CBS News, who also is doing a number of documentaries these days, uh, exploring sort of out-of-the-way destinations, places that you might not think about. And Peter has just completed Hidden Uganda, which will be appearing this weekend, actually. And I got a preview of it, and I got to tell you, it's one of the best things he's done. We're going to talk to Peter about this wonderful program and what you can see in it on Insider Travel Report. Peter, great to see you.
And likewise, sir.
Yeah, we just saw each other at the premiere. It was a really, I'm serious. I think this was one of the best ones you've ever done. How did you come to make Hidden Uganda, and why did you choose Uganda?
Well, let's go back to the beginning. We've been doing these hidden shows now for about 13 years.
Right.
And the reason why we did them is we wanted to do a show, and the concept of the show, no matter where we were doing it, is no gift shop, no tour bus, no TripAdvisor stickers, no brochure, no guidebook. I'm going to take you to the most extraordinary experiences within a destination that few people know about, but that are totally and all accessible to the audience. So now some of these destinations may be better known,
Hmm.
but they still have a lot of hidden opportunities. Some destinations are by definition hidden. Uganda qualifies as that.
No, absolutely. And you had previously done Hidden Tanzania, I believe.
Well,
Uh,
we've done hidden Ireland, hidden Poland, hidden Turkey, hidden Aegean, hidden Saudi Arabia, hidden Belize. We
wow.
oh
This
yeah,
is quite the series.
we've done many of them. Yes,
Because I knew you were doing was the Royal Tours, and that's another.
we're still doing the Royal Tours. That in fact hidden started because of the Royal Tour.
Right.
Royal Tour is where I go to individual sitting heads of state. We like to call it our impossible show. Kings, presidents, and prime ministers, and I get them to give me, here comes the impossible part, 8 days of their schedule devoted only to me 24/7. And they have no right of review or editorial control.
Mhm.
And we send most of their gatekeepers home. And then for the next 8 days, they're actually my personal tour guide to and through their country. Imagine two people on a road trip, one of whom just happens to run the country. So it started with doing the royal tours with kings and presidents and prime ministers about 23 years ago. And it's evolved into doing both that and now individual pieces called Hidden.
Now, can you talk a little bit about some of the natural products you discovered, such as the coffee, the bananas? I was talking about the banana juice, and yes, the crickets.
Yeah, well, if you go to the local market, that was a fun piece because who did I bump into but a guy I went to college with, who's now the number one DJ in Kampala, who
Wow.
went to the University of Wisconsin when I was there. And so he became my tour guide to that market, which, as you saw, is just sprawling. I mean, it never ends. And talk about one-stop shopping. You can buy anything you want there, including things you've never seen before or never tasted before. And that included my up close and personal experience with crickets. Yes, thank you very much.
Yes, and you had a little you got to go to see the program because Peter's very brave. Put it that way. But yeah, and let's talk about the natural attractions because obviously Uganda is known for gorillas, mountain gorillas, other wildlife. You went to the impenetrable forest, which I thought was an interesting name, and
Well, they
also
call it that for a reason. It's difficult to get in and difficult to get through, somewhat easier to get out of. But I'm telling you right now, it's a difficult experience, but well worth it because what do you do if you, first of all, you have to go with the guides who know it so well. Because remember, we're going to see the mountain gorillas, and these animals are constantly on the move. So the guides need to know where they are or where they're going to be so you can actually see them. But once you get in there, and by the way, our trek, and I'm not exaggerating, was up and down inclines of 60 degrees.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was treacherous, but I have to tell you, well worth it because we got to see them.
Yeah, well, that's something almost everybody's on bucket list for that in Uganda and Rwanda with the mountain gorillas. And then, of course, you saw the usual elephants and hippos. Really, that was pretty impressive too.
Elephants and hippos, but the highlight for me were the chimpanzees on the island.
Ah, we were going to talk about that. Yeah, well,
Oh
you
yeah.
got to feed the chimpanzees.
Well, first of all, this is a sanctuary for animals that really were endangered, not as a species, but to be able just to be able to survive. And they built this amazing facility on this island in the middle of Lake Victoria. The only way you get there, of course, is by boat. So I
Hmm.
got on a boat, went out there. But then it's not just to see them in that environment because the way they've designed this island is you really don't see them. The island, the entire island, maybe one-tenth of it is made up of small buildings where the researchers are and
Right.
the animal wardens are, but the rest of the island is all theirs. Nobody goes in, nobody goes out. The only time they will come out is for feeding time, and they're so smart. They know exactly what time it is, and basically you show up by boat off the coast, and they come down to the water's edge, and you're literally playing catch with them.
Yeah,
You're
I
throwing
saw that.
bananas, and you're throwing tomatoes, and you're throwing carrots. These guys should be in the baseball league.
I
These
know
guys,
you were saying you got a good arm throwing that stuff to them, and I think they probably had pretty good arm stays. They certainly good catch.
unbelievable. Yeah, so it's that was an interesting experience to say the least.
Yeah, and of course you mentioned you were on Lake Victoria, which is what the largest lake in the entire African continent. And you saw these giant waterfalls, including one that sort of got to me because it was used in the making of the African Queen, the Humphrey Bogart movie back then. And it really is the rapids there are incredible.
Well, there's two things. It's the waterfalls at Murchison Falls,
Right,
which are intense because the water narrows to a very small width, which means it's going through at unbelievable speeds. And then the other, of course, is we forget, when we think about the Nile, we think of Egypt, of course. But guess what? You want to see the Nile the way it really is in terms of being powerful
right.
and unforgiving, you go to Uganda, and that's what we did. We shot the rapids, which I'm not exaggerating, were class 5 and class 6. I was holding on for dear life.
Well, I was very proud of you. You were going getting wet, and there's some good scenes of you getting hit by the waves, and it was looked like a lot of fun though.
You know what? It was, but you know what? It wakes you up in ways that you go, did I just do that? Because because luckily I was with guys who really know what they're doing and they know this river better than anybody. They know when to go, they know when not to go, they know when to turn. Because one wrong turn there, not only is your raft flipped, but you don't come back. So it was an amazing adventure.
No, it's amazing. You really did a lot here. You experienced the rapids. You threw, fed chimpanzees. You ate something that we'll talk about later. You'll have to watch it. All these different experiences that really, I think, travelers would be interested in doing for themselves.
Well, remember, the whole point of the show is that everything you saw me do is absolutely accessible to the audience.
Right.
So you can almost put together your own blueprint of what you want to do.
So overall, what did you come away with after your visit to Uganda? What impressed you the most?
Well, there's a reason why Winston Churchill called it the Pearl of Africa. I
Mhm.
mean, it's got such diversity, it's got such riches, but the biggest riches that they have are their people. We never felt more welcomed, more accepted, and they were excited to see me. I was excited to see them, and most importantly, they were excited to show me the country that they love.
Well, they're great shows. And how much time did you spend in Uganda to make this travel documentary?
Well, the research was about 6 months, and then the advanced team goes in for about 2 weeks to basically do the scout, and then we actually shoot for about 12 days.
Hmm. That's yeah. So you were in there for a while. So
Oh yeah.
how involved? You said you don't really have any oversight, but from Uganda government officials, but they certainly were involved. I know they were at the premiere. Do they work with you on Hidden Uganda?
Well, we actually come up with all of our own ideas. We will
Right.
collaborate with anybody we can work with to give us stuff that we don't know about local knowledge. And that's where Tourism Uganda really helped out a lot.
Right.
But then again, remember, we are the ones who got in there to find our storytellers. That's the key. Who am I going to meet with on camera? Who's going to tell me their story? And how is it going to be accessible to the audience? So at the end, obviously, the Uganda tourism people were very happy that we came and they were certainly very happy to be there at the premiere that you were at. And that's basically the MO for all of our shows. We always stress our editorial independence, and what we pride ourselves in, if we're really doing our job, is to find something hidden about a place that even the locals don't know. And so that's what we work on.
Well, you certainly have that in this documentary, and you really focused on a lot of different things, the food markets, the music scene, the culture, the city life in Kampala. Talk a little bit about some of the things that you experienced.
Well, one of the ones that we did that most Ugandans don't even know about is baseball.
Yeah, yeah.
They've got basically a quasi farm club there that's being scouted by the LA Dodgers and the other major league clubs, where they're bringing baseball to Uganda in leagues, right, and just basically intramural leagues. But these guys are so good. A couple of them have already been gone to the majors.
Wow.
Uh, but in the middle of nowhere in the jungle, they've carved out what approximates a baseball diamond. And if you don't know what turn to take on the road, you'll never get there. So we had help. And next thing you know, they suited me up, and I'm doing batting practice. It
I
was great.
saw that. You got a hit there. It looked pretty good.
Oh, absolutely. I still play ball, so that was good.
No, that's great. And of course, you mentioned that this is like their field of dreams, right?
It is because, you know, it's not a national sport yet. It was
No.
certainly, it's new to them, but you know what? They adapted unbelievably well, and they've got some great athletes playing that game.
Did you come away? Is Uganda ready for more tourism? Is it a destination that some Americans, maybe many Americans, will want to visit?
I believe so. Remember, travel and tourism, and you know this as well, is the most powerful tool without singing Kumbaya to build bridges. And in this situation, the economic impact dictates that this country is ready for it. And by the way, they are.
No, absolutely. And we came away with that idea too. And where can our we go out to 128,000 travel advisors now? Where can they go to find out more about Uganda and how to arrange travel around the country?
Well, it premieres, of course, on PBS, but shortly thereafter, it will then air on Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and YouTube simultaneously. So, in fact, if you go to Amazon Prime even now and either punch up the words hidden or my name, you'll see all the hidden shows we've done, all
Okay.
the royal tours we've done, now starting, of course, with Uganda.
And so for PBS, though, it is this weekend. We're going to have this up before the weekend. So it's when is that going to appear on PBS?
It'll start on PBS well, let's see, in about 10 days. It'll roll out station by station over a period of 3 months. But starting March 17th, you'll find it on Amazon and Apple TV as well.
Fantastic. So you got a lot of opportunities to see this wonderful documentary. And is there a tourism website though that they can go to as well for
I'm
Uganda?
sure there is a tourism website, but of course, not to sound too self-serving, we have one as well. It's an imaginative name. It's petergreenberg.com, and you can find more information on that as well.
That's fantastic. Now, so really, please go out and see this hidden Uganda documentary, and I think you'll be glad. I think it's one of the best things you've done. I've seen many of the programs you've done, and this was, if only because you really participated, man. I saw you in the rapids and doing all that, playing baseball. I mean, what else? Who thought of that was going to happen in Uganda?
There you go. See, we're full of surprises.
Well, Peter, thank you for taking the time to talk to us about this. We're going to try to get this up for our viewers this week, and so everyone can go and see Hidden Uganda. And congratulations on another great show.
Thank you, James.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report.